Okay.
Whenever you want to start, feel free.
All right. Okay. So, can you see the presentation?
Yep.
Is it full screen?
I can
Okay.
see like the, but yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go over repricing today. So Chris and I, we're the presenters today. Okay. Our agenda is that we're going to cover the benefits of using repricing first. As Valerie told us that lots of people were having questions about repricing, like what can it actually do? Is it easy? Is it hard? Is it worth your time? So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to talk about our new update, which we're really excited about. About a third, we're going to do a 10 minute demo so you can see the software. Fourth, I'll tell you about some special promotions we're having, and then at the end, we'll open it up for Q&A. Okay, so I'm going to start by telling you about the benefits of using repricing. So really quickly, here's the outline: increase buy box win rate, increase sales and move products, maximize profit, save time. And I'll go over through each of these. All right, so the first thing is using repricing, it boosts your visibility. Like most of the time, there's multiple sellers on a listing, and you're ranked based on your price. So if you're not repricing regularly, you could be on the second, third, or even fourth page. So this makes it hard for the buyer to find your offer. And depending on how you compete, repricing can get you to the front page, and in many cases, you can share or win the buy box, which makes it more likely for buyers to pick your offer and increase your sales. For those of you who are familiar with SEO, it's like getting to the front page of Google as opposed to the fourth page. So repricing, it does increase sales, but like it does it through visibility, if that makes sense. Chris, do you have any?
No, that's pretty good. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
For repricing, yeah, it's just increase your visibility and kind of keep you marketable there at the top of the page.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, feel free to jump in anytime. You know, this actually throws me off a little bit because like if I'm in full screen mode, I actually don't see you guys' faces, so I don't know how like you're reacting. I actually feel a little bit blind.
We're all just in utter shock. No, I'm
Okay, good. Fantastic.
No, you're doing good. And I'm breaking up, so I don't know if anybody can hear me well. You guys can hear me. I don't know about our, our attendees, if they can hear me okay. If you guys can hear me okay, please feel free to ask any questions. There's the chat on the side, or if you, some people it's on the bottom, some people it's on the top, but there's a Q&A button. You can submit your questions there as well. But ask your questions, get them answered. Now is the time. You guys have the BQool team here, so don't lose out on the opportunity. If there's something that you don't understand, don't be afraid to ask. And if you don't want to ask it in the chat, if you do use the Q&A, only we see the Q&A, so it's more of like an anonymous question. But if you have questions on how that changes your visibility or how it benefits your business, whatever it may be, ask away. If you want them to explain something a little more, don't hesitate. So use those options. That's what they're there for.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Because I actually can't see, like, while in full screen mode, I can't see the chat. So just feel free to stop me anytime, actually, if you have any questions. Although we will have Q&A at the end.
Will do.
Okay. All right. So on this next slide, I kind of want to show you where repricing fits in, like in the big scope of things. So sourcing is still really important. That determines how much room you have when you reprice. And also, in general, repricing helps you move products faster so that you can get rid of the old products and keep sourcing new ones. And it's a very positive cycle. So as opposed to letting products sit around for a long time. And the key though is to take breaks and look at how things are working for you and making tweaks and adjustments as necessary, because chances are, like, if you want to keep growing, then you have to keep optimizing. Okay. All right. So this next slide lists out like ways that repricing can actually help you increase profit. It's not all about, just necessarily lowering your price. There's also a lot of times that you can raise your price because everything is automated. Like, for example, your competitor, they raise price. And so you can also raise your price. Let's say like you're matching the lowest price competitor. So if they raise price, you can also raise price. Our repricer has the option to raise your price once you win the buy box. We have separate options for when you're not in the buy box and when you're in the buy box. So you can raise your price if you'd like. When you have no competition, you usually want to raise your price. So we get from the data that we get, we know when you have no competition, and so we can raise your price. You can set up your repricing rule so that you can compete versus FBA and MF sellers differently. So if you're competing against everyone the same, then you could be selling at a lower price than you need to. We also have the option to compete with back-ordered sellers. So I'm sorry, avoid competing with back-ordered sellers. So because a lot of times back-ordered sellers are at a lower price. You can also avoid competing with new sellers. So I think new sellers, a lot of times they tend to sell at lower prices as well. And they also can't win the buy box, so you don't really want to compete with them. One of our new options is the scheduler helps you reset your price each day. So maybe through repricing, like everyone's price has dropped, but you can use the scheduler to raise it back up at the start of each day. And we've also added the safety net feature that helps you avoid big one-time price drops. Okay. And another thing that repricing helps you do is save time. When you manage your listings, we have options to set things up in bulk. And we've also added new options for automatically assigning some default values, so you don't necessarily even have to go in and do that. It'll just set it up for you. And we also have upload files. This is a pretty big one. A lot of users actually use our built-in profit calculator to calculate profit and ROI. And we have quite a bit of data from our competitor analysis, listings data, and business reports that help you make better decisions. Okay, so actually that's like the first part. All right. Where we
I'm a right there, or well, it's my right, but so is that what you guys have? Are those the different like title, fulfillment, offers, the ASIN? Can you click on all those different statistics, or like it picks it up for the report in the graph, or do you choose what shows in the graph, or is that just automatically on there, like a
well
certain?
these well I put all of these things on one slide, but they're very different. Um, the listings data, like on every listing we'll have this data, and the competitor analysis is actually for every listing you can go into the competitor analysis and see all of these things, and the business report is like for your whole account. But actually I'll go into it in the demo later. I think that'll make it clear. You can see where everything is. It'll make a bit more sense.
Yeah. I think all that information, I think it can be useful, but it can also be a little overwhelming. So I think if they see exactly, like what the benefit is of that, which we, we talk about with our members all the time, that would be really great. So,
Okay.
All right. So I just wanted to see, I wasn't sure if this was like the page, how it comes up, or this was just the slide of how you made it. So perfect.
Yeah, this is kind of a collage of a few things.
Okay.
Yeah, but definitely, let's definitely talk a little bit more about the benefits later on, I think, during the demo.
Great. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. All right. So during this next part, I'll kind of go over what's new this time around, some new and exciting changes that we made. And there's a little bit of overlap actually with what we just covered. But this will let you know what's new. Like if there's any, I don't know if there's any current BQool users tuning in today. But if you're already an existing user, then this will let you know what's different now. Okay, so the first thing that we did is that we added accelerated repricing to our lowest tier plan. It used to start at $50, but now we added it to $25. And the next thing is that some of our users were requesting even faster repricing, so we added 5-minute repricing on the $100 plan. And later on in the webinar, I'll give you guys a special offer for it. The third big change is we actually charge the listings number that you see, 1,000, 5,000, 7,500, 10,000. That number is actually, we charge by how many listings you reprice. So that was a big change. We used to charge by the number of listings in your inventory. So if you had, like before, if you had 10,000 listings, but you only want to reprice 2,000, you would have to buy the $100 plan. But now you can you pay for how many listings you actually reprice. And it's very, and you can turn repricing on and off for listings right within BQool. So it's pretty convenient. And the listings count is the same for all plans except the $25 plan, which was lowered to 1,000 listings. So I don't know if there's any existing BQool users today, but if so, existing BQool users on the $25 plan, they have 2,500 listings, but they can't choose. So you can decide if you want to stay on your current plan or you want to switch to the new one. Okay, so that's all for new pricing. Okay. And then I'll just keep going. Okay, so we added new listings data for each listing. So for each listing, we now show buy box win percentage, buy box winner, the position that you are. So 6 in this case means like you're in 6th place in terms of price. Sales rank shows up for the listings, and you can add a note. And all of these data are, you can sort these. So these were very highly requested, especially sales rank. A lot of users requested these. And I think Chris, you're a pretty big fan of this data, right?
Right. Yeah, it gives you pretty much, and these are shown on each SKU you have right at the listing data, so you can see each one and you see the key information. So you see like sales rank, which tells you kind of how it's doing, and you see the buy box winner, which can tell you, who you need to be competing against. Sometimes you change your rules depending on the buy box owner. And the buy box percentage is really nice to see, because then it tells you whether you're actually rotating into the buy box. Because I don't know about you, but I don't sit around and watch my Amazon list every single SKU I sell, so it's hard to tell unless you have these statistics. So it's kind of nice to have it there per SKU.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I have a question on it.
Yes.
I have, because I think this is pretty huge. And I know we did like a webinar just on the buy box, which I know is like algorithms and something like it's so hard to even comprehend. But now if you click, can you click on these, and like for the competitor? So the buy box winner, you have is the buy box win percent. You're like that percentage. If you click on those, does it give more data as to like who is winning the buy box and who that competitor is and what their pricing is?
Okay, yeah, I'll cover that in a little bit. Not on this particular thing, but if you open up competitor analysis, you can actually see which competitor is winning the buy box.
Okay.
And let me tell you how we actually calculate this. Because the percentage is a formula using our calculation, but so how we calculate it is that we take all the price notifications that we get that day. So let's say we get 10 notifications, and 3 of them say that you're in the buy box. So we take 3 divided by 10, and so that's 30%. That's our estimation that your buy box win percentage that day was 30%. So hopefully, Chris, that like buy box win percentage is working pretty well for you, our formula.
Yeah, it's been working pretty good. It's pretty accurate. Takes a little bit to get started, but after that it works. Like you said, it's the last 24 hours. So we do have a question here that wouldn't be bad to answer. They're saying something about, so if you're 6th place and everyone's the same price, do you still show as sixth place, I guess, essentially?
Oh, 6th place.
Hi, Daddy.
I'm actually not sure. I would have to take a look. I think that sometimes, I think like you might show up 6th on the Amazon page itself, but I feel like Amazon will consider you the lowest price because everybody is tied for the lowest price. But I think I would have to actually check.
Yeah, I think that's how it works too. I think it's based on how you appear in the listings page, the all sellers page, is what it seems to be. So, yeah.
Okay, I think I'd have to check the reports. But that's a very interesting question. I'll make sure to double check that.
We just had Abby join us. Hi, Abby. Thank you for coming on. Or should I say you as well with Shawn Mayo? Shawn Mayo has so many different faces. It's crazy.
Oh, what's going on? I'm gonna. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, Michael, I forgot you couldn't see this.
I'm like in like my own world where like I see only my own slide. Like I, it's like okay.
All right, perfect. So yeah, so feel free to comment he got the question answered. I got mine going, and then if you want to just keep on going with your slide, you're good to go.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So the next thing is that we increase price history from 1 day to 5 days. So you have so you just have more data, and you can go further back in time. So I know that Chris, right? You use this you use the price history.
Yeah, so the price history is kind of handy. A lot of people are like, well, is the repricer working, you know? And I wonder that sometimes too, you know, is my inventory actually getting repriced? And right here, it gives you timestamps, and it tells you what it did and which competitor you're changing your price against. So you can kind of decide why and what's going on. And sometimes maybe you find a competitor that you don't want to reprice against, and that would help you identify that.
Okay, yeah, right on.
And Chris, I just want to point out that you said, because for the replay, they won't be able to see the chat. So for anyone who's watching the replay, Chris said that you can reprice against subconditions now. So it can be as granular as you want. So that's one of the new, you know, the new exciting like features that they have. So just for any of you that can't see the chat, that is an awesome feature that's now that they now have.
Right, definitely.
Okay, go.
Okay. Okay, so this is the competitor analysis. So you can click into this for each listing, and so here's the data that you can see, and so we list out the top 20 competitors, and if you set your min and max price, you'll see that the blue bar, it tells you where your min and max price is, and it gives you a visualization of your range, and you can see like, hey, those sellers are outside of my range, and you can see which sellers are inside of your range, and the ones that are inside of your range, those are the ones that you can compete against. And the buy box winner will have that buy box icon located on it. And this is another new feature. So in this slide that I made, I edited a few of the sellers. So normally the sellers, you just get the seller ID and it's just a big jumble of letters, but you can actually edit these. So you can change it so that it's easier for you to recognize your competitor. And this actually carries across listings. So once you edit it, it'll carry across listings, and it's much easier for you to realize who you're competing against. And some of the columns that we already had before, like everyone's price and their shipping. But some new things that we have added is handling time. If they are expedited shipping, and if they're back ordered. So if they're back ordered, they'll have a green check in that column, and it'll even tell you the date that they'll be back ordered to. Yeah. So Chris, I was wondering if you use competitor analysis very often.
Yeah, this can kind of help you decide what's going on, you know, and how to price your stuff. Maybe it would help you decide to adjust your min and max prices, you know, for instance, because it shows you where the buy box is, and it shows you your range there of min and max price, and so you might need to adjust it to fit in the right range. And it's kind of nice to see all the sellers all at once and who's back ordered, you know, and if you saw a bunch of back ordered sellers, you could decide that maybe you don't need to price that low. So it's pretty handy.
Okay, good. right. Okay, so we also added some new features to help with automation, like setting default min and max prices, and also rules on listings as they're downloaded. So it's done automatically, so that you don't necessarily have to set up each one. So on this screen, the general settings screen, I'll show you this later. Like at the top, one of the options is to reset your price when you are out of stock. And in the middle, we have the default options for min, max, rule, and cost. And FBM shipping costs, that's actually just for the calculator. That's why we need that. And the set default shipping fee, that's because why you would use that is because we need to know your shipping fee in order to calculate your min and max price, because it's a part of your total price. And so actually, it takes a few hours after the listing gets to the warehouse for us to get the shipping fee, and a lot of users want to set up min and max price before then, and so that's why you would use this set shipping to assign that value so that you can start setting up min and max price. Okay, so move on to the next slide. All right, bulk actions. This is for, so we already had bulk actions, and what we did is we kind of added filters to it so that you didn't have to sort, like use the filter and select all of these listings. And now it's built into the bulk action. So like you can select all listings missing min, max, price, and rule, and apply these options. So it just saves you a little bit more time. Another big one, I'm getting to our repricing rule now. Another big one is we added the option to reprice against the buy box price. Before, we actually only had the option to reprice against the lowest price. So now we have the option to reprice against the buy box price, and there's a lot of other options that go with it. So with the new reprice versus buy box settings, at the top, first you have to choose your competitors, and then you decide on your pricing strategy. Do you want to beat, match, or reprice up against the buy box? And if there's no sellers on the listing, what do you want to do? If the buy box winner is outside of your range, if the buy box is suppressed. So those are the options for repricing against the buy box. The safety net is something a little bit different. It's, as I mentioned before, it helps you prevent big price drops from sellers who are lowballing you. So I know for a fact that Chris was pretty excited about these new options, and Chris was trying to create like a master rule, right?
Yeah, it's pretty close. It might look a little confusing on the outside, but we can dig into it sometime in the future if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, it's pretty customizable. That's what all these settings are there for.
Yeah, there's still some improvements to be made. Like I know that Chris has brought up that, like, for example, when the buy box is suppressed, when there's no buy box, that because we kind of have a limited number of options right now there, like do not reprice or use a fixed price. And there's been some suggestions there, like, maybe if the buy box is suppressed, maybe we can switch rule or something. So those are some of the things that we're looking at. So maybe that's a little bit too advanced. So we'll kind of just leave that. Okay. So other really big options that we added to the repricing rule is we can now include or exclude seller with free and expedited shipping. We added those options. Exclude back-ordered sellers, exclude sellers with long handling times. And if you guys are selling used products, we can now reprice by subcondition. So in the past, like if you're selling used good, it would also compete with used acceptable. And a lot of sellers, they prefer to reprice it using the same subcondition. So that's important for them. Okay. So the next thing, this is part of our rule, is the scheduler. So, 1 second. The schedule allows you to pause and restart listings at certain times. This is really useful if you want to reset your price each day. So at the top, the repeated schedule, yeah, that's for every day. Like you can reset your price, and the fixed day schedule lets you pause and restart repricing at a future time. For example, like maybe you're going to go on vacation next week, so you pause repricing Monday through Friday of next week. You can only choose one of these at a time, so either the repeated schedule or a fixed schedule. Any questions about like the rule and scheduler?
Looks like not yet, no.
Okay, just keep going. Okay, so the next thing is the business reports. And I think a lot of the features you can kind of figure out what they do by yourself. But I found that with business reports, like even for our advanced users, like they've been using us for several years, they might look at the business reports and say, what is this and how do you use it? I actually think there's some very interesting data in here. For example, so I don't know if this is a little bit too small for you guys, but so we have like compete, where it says compete versus FBA percentage, compete versus FBM percentage. This tells you who your main competitors are, whether it's FBA, FBM, or Amazon. So I think a lot of sellers, like you kind of have an idea. You're like, okay, well, maybe my main competitor is FBA. Most of my listings have FBA competitors, but this report can actually give you data to back that up. So for example, if you see a compete versus FBA percentage of 80%, that lets you know that 80% of your listings have FBA on it. Or maybe your compete versus FBM percentage is only 10%. So, you know, only 10% of your listings have FBM competitors. So you probably would know that your main competitor is FBA. So you would probably want to set up repricing accordingly. The next thing is you can see who is winning the buy box. So we have the buy box lost versus Amazon, FBA, and FBM percentage. So yeah, it shows you which competitor is winning the buy box on your listing. Is it FBA or is it FBM? And again, you can adjust your pricing strategy. Who is lowest price? This is pretty similar. Is it who's the lowest price? Is it Amazon, FBA, or FBM? And so one very important point is that you can track this across your entire account, or for individual listings. And for individual listings only, we can also track things like the lowest and the highest order price. So this is pretty advanced stuff. Chris, I don't know if you've had a chance to really dig into this one yet.
Yeah, I haven't used it a lot. It is something to contemplate what exactly I would use it for yet, but I'm sure it's data that's available, so that's what's interesting.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so just coming out from full screen mode for a minute. So how's everybody doing? Is everybody okay?
I think everybody's doing pretty well so far. Like I said, I know that we have a lot of people that were, not able to make the time just because of it being in the middle of the day today. So they're planning on just watching the webinar. So as much as we can cover kind of to fill in any of the question blanks, or, if any of our attendees that are watching now, if you have those questions, ask away, because that might cover some of the blank space that's missing from some questions. But as of now, we're all caught up on questions. We don't have anything new. So you guys can dive into, your next segment.
Okay.
All right. Well,
yeah.
we have a few questions here. This is going to be a replay available, right?
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. Yes, it is going to be a replay. It's going to be a replay, so that's why I've been kind of trying to say everything out loud, because in the replay, they don't get to see the chat. And if you have any questions that are coming directly like to you or to the Q&A, they don't see those as well. So, it's better to address them out loud.
Gotcha. So we have another question then I guess we could ask. What's an example that you would reset the price each day? So you're talking about the reset pricing rule. So for me, I suppose maybe it would be a listing that has, like, for example, a lot of competition potentially that you have, and maybe it drives the price down throughout the day, and so then you reset the price, which would then push the price, whatever you decide, back up to a higher price, and then it restarts the next morning, at a higher price, and maybe the lower price sellers would sell out. So probably in that instance, that's one thing I can think of. Is there something else that you can think of, Michael, that people might have used it for or would use it for?
I think that's mostly it. They use it to reset the price each day, but I don't know. I've heard a few cases of this, so I don't know if anyone else has this idea. But like, I think in certain situations, like maybe you have more sales at a certain time of day, and maybe you only want to reprice at that time of day. I don't know. I don't know if that actually happens for you, but I have heard of it before. And if you have that situation, then like maybe you just want to reprice during that time, and all the other times you're paused.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in most cases, like most sellers just want to reprice throughout most of the day at least. Okay, so that's good. I think let's go ahead and do the demo. So I think that was a lot of information, and I think maybe let's go do the demo a little bit, and let's see if that'll help you piece together everything. All right. Oh, I've been logged out. Okay. Can everyone see the software okay?
No, we can't. We still see your presentation.
Oh, you still see my presentation. Okay. Maybe stop share. Share. Now you see my desktop, I guess.
Yeah, it's a very nice view.
Yeah, it is actually. Okay, please give me one moment to figure out how I share the my browser.
I guess while we're waiting, where will the replay be available? I guess is a question somebody had.
Oh, sure. So the replay we will send, you'll get in your email, so the one that you used to register with, you'll get a copy of the replay as long as, you know, obviously you're in it, so you're already registered. So it'll come directly there, and then we'll also post the webinar in, I don't know what groups everyone is in, but if you're in any of Shawn's free groups like Grocery and FBA, if you're a mastermind member, or just like the grocery fulfillment group, it'll be posted there as well, probably within the next 30 days. But you should get the replay within, I think it's usually like 72 hours in an email that you registered with.
Okay. Can everyone see the software now?
Yep.
Okay, great. Got it figured out. Okay, so when you first log into BQool, it'll look like this. You'll see your listings laid out in these rows. So these are all individual listings, and as I mentioned earlier, this box right here, this is where like a lot of that data is located here. Some of these are inactive listings, so some of the data is not populated, and so moving on to the right, you can enter your cost, and if you enter your cost, you can use that to use the profit calculator to calculate your min and max price. So yeah, min price, max price rule, and we also show your price plus shipping, and you can change your price from here. And we also, the shipping column, that's just that's just like your shipping fee, that's all. And the reason we have this column is that if we don't have the shipping from the reports yet, you can edit that here. Low price plus shipping, so you can know the low price plus shipping on the listing. Buy box price plus shipping. If you're the buy box price, then you'll just see a check mark right here. And if you fill out the profit calculator, the estimated profit margin and ROI will also be populated over here. So this will give you an idea of like what the listing looks like. So before you actually set up min, max, and rule, I think the first thing is that you want to determine your goals. So first of all, do you have a minimum profit or ROI that you'd like? If you do, then you can enter cost, and you can use the calculator located here to set min and max price. And the next thing is, how do you want to compete? So if you click on the rule, for new accounts, you'll have these 4 rules available. And so there's two basic questions that you want to ask yourself when you choose a rule. Like, do you want to compete against lowest price, or do you want to compete against buy box price? And so whether you select A or you select B, we have an aggressive version of that rule, and we also have a more maximized profit version of that rule. So if you can answer those 2 questions, then you can decide which rule that you want. So later on, if you guys need to, I can actually go into the rule. So maybe that'll help. As mentioned earlier, so if you go to the left side of the listing, you go to actions, and this is where the competitor analysis is. So if you click on that, yeah, so if you click on that, you can see the funny names that I gave some of these sellers. That's not their real name. I just made up some names here as examples. And I don't have min and max price set up on this listing, so the blue bars are down at the bottom. So does this help to be able to see the actual competitor analysis? Yeah, unfortunately, I can't, for this listing, there's no back ordered. Okay. Oh, and price history is here, but there's nothing on this listing. It's not repricing enabled, but it is here. So I guess I can, yes.
I think we have a question that might be related, a few of them. There's kind of related to the viewing of the listings here. So someone's asking, when they filter, how can you only show active listings? And they're saying when they do it, it always seems to combine all repriced listings, including inactive ones.
Oh, so do we have some current here?
Yeah, I think so.
Ah, okay. Okay, so sorry if I didn't get all of that. So the first thing is, how do you find active listings? So that would be here, active. Okay. So in my account, I actually have 7 active listings. So the next question is how to only find the ones that are repricing. Is that right?
I think they're just saying that it seems to include inactive ones as well. So that should answer it, I think.
Oh, okay. So that means the active filters bring in inactive listings. If that shouldn't be, so if that's happening, then definitely let's please submit a support ticket. Try to get in touch with us, and then we'll try to take a look at that. That's that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It sounds like.
Unless it's like the report is telling us it's active, but maybe it's actually inactive in your store, then there could be something wrong with the report. Okay, but that's actually kind of a nice, I guess, a nice segue into the filters on the left side. So there's a lot of filters here. I don't know if it's like a little bit overwhelming if you're new to this. So what the view that I was using before was I actually created a group called demo. And if you have listings in a group, like every time you click on the group, like it'll just pull up those listings. Okay. So but for other search criteria, like we have, you can search for listings that match buy box price, listings that do not match buy box price, lowest price, not at lowest price, with competition, without competition, missing, maybe missing min price, max price, or rule. So we have filters for all of these. You can search by active, inactive, repricing enabled, repricing paused. And there's a bunch of other criteria down here, like you can search for listings with a min price between like $3 and $5 or something. So we've got a bunch of filters so that you can sort and find your listings that you want.
Right. So someone's asking a question about filtering by ones that are currently repricing and ones that are not.
Currently repricing. Okay. Oh, it's very simple. It's right here. Repricing enabled, currently repricing. Repricing paused are the ones that are not repricing.
And maybe something, I've used it a lot of times, so show them maybe about how you can combine, like for example, repricing and the current status, whether it's active or inactive. That might be handy to see.
Okay, sure. Okay, so these are all the ones that are repricing enabled. So there's 10 total listings, and the status will pull up. I click on status, and the active ones will go to the top, the 4 at the top. So you can see these are clickable here, and then the ones at the bottom, they're the inactive ones. So is that how you would do it, Chris? If you want to find enable?
Yeah, you could certainly do it that way, or the other option is on the bottom where it says filter, there's the plus sign by repricing and plus by status. And you can set those both to whatever you need there at the top.
Yes.
You could say enabled, and then the other one would be set to whatever you want. So
Okay.
you can do those kinds of things.
Right on. So so as Chris mentioned, like that, right? Repricing enabled and active, right?
Right.
And,
Yep.
and then you hit search. So that's a good idea. That's two ways to do things. Like we have the filters on the left and we have the filters on the top. You can do various things with them. All right, and
How about groups before you get off to, that's kind of another filter thing. How would you add stuff to groups?
Oh, okay, sure. Yes, let me go back to the all. So this listing is not in a group, so I just go to actions and I go to add to group. And my favorite group is demo. So let me check the listing. It's the Sharpie accent one. Okay. That's it. So now when I go into the group, the Sharpie accent is now part of the group. And you can actually make multiple groups. Like right here, you can add groups here. Like demo 2. So I don't have any listings yet, but you can see on the left side, we have 2 groups now. Yeah, so like I mentioned, I guess I mentioned earlier, the bulk actions are located here. Actions, like for each listing, you have these options, but the bulk actions lets you do these things in bulk. So as I mentioned earlier, the bulk actions kind of combines the filter. So now, like you can choose all listings missing min, max, and rule. Yeah, and you can do a bulk action with them, or you can. We also added a group here. So let's say my demo group, like maybe I want to set min, max, and rule on all the listings in my demo group. You can do that in bulk here. So maybe a few more things on the managed listings page. This box right here is pretty handy. It tells you how many listings you're subscribed to on your plan, how many you're repricing enabled. So I have 5,000 on my plan, and I've enabled 10, so I have like 4,000 more listings, 4,990 more listings that I can reprice. And the general settings where you want to do automation, that's located right here. I went over these features earlier. And the preferences here, you can hide some of these columns if you don't find them useful. And I think that's mostly it for the managed listings page. We also have the dashboard repricing rules, the price history, and upload file.
All right, one thing that might still be related, someone was asking, is there a way to see your average ROI? I'm not sure if they mean by account or per SKU, so maybe cover both of those, I suppose, to some degree. You can see what profit, I think.
Let me go into the business reports. Let me double check that. So unfortunately, because I'm not really selling, so my business report is pretty Spartan. Let's see what we can see in here. Average ROI.
I think that would probably be on the dashboard view, wouldn't it? If you're going to look for it by a whole account, if there is anything.
We don't, we don't, well, I can show you what we have in our dashboard, but I don't believe that we have average ROI. That would probably be a feature request. So what we do have on our dashboard is buy box win percentage. So unfortunately mine is 0% because this is not really an active store. But we have things, I think the buy box percentage is the biggest one that people look at. We also have like total sales. How many of your listings are at min price, at max price, or lowest price?
Hey, Michael, I don't know if you covered this already, but is there a history of the repricing for each SKU where people could see maybe when, historically when it's gone up and when it's gone down and how often it actually needs to, reprice, if it's, doing it daily or how many times a day, or, so you can get a better judge of, movement of the pricing on particular SKU.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's pretty important. So let me go back to manage listings page. Yeah, unfortunately, my price history is blank, but you would go here and you can track for the past 5 days, and you can see all the times that you repriced and who you repriced against, and what your price was and what it changed to, and how much it changed.
But that only works for 5 days. There's no way to get longer history than that.
Yeah, right now it's 5 days. So you're thinking of something more historic, maybe? Like,
right.
That's interesting. No, we're limited to 5 days. But if that data is useful to you, I would definitely like to have a longer conversation. And
yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, the price history that's a pretty new feature, right? Because I don't remember using that, but I don't personally use BQool that much anymore. I have employees who kind of, do it based on, selling prices and buying prices. So I'm not really in here every day anymore.
Oh, it's all right. Yeah, we've always had the price history. It's just that before, the very first version of BQool, this is really great. You'll like this. It only recorded the past 100 latest price changes. So like if it wasn't within the past 100, like you wouldn't have been able to find it. And then
so across your whole account, 100?
Yeah, that's what it was before. And then last year we made it, we were able to make it 1 day, all of the price changes for 24 hours. And now it's 5 days. So yeah, I think,
Yeah, 100 for us, I mean, I don't know, take minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have 2,000 active SKUs, 100 price changes doesn't take too long.
I know. So we've come a long way from the last 100, and now it's 5 days. And but definitely, yeah. If you think that you need even more price history, maybe to do like deeper analysis, that's something we could definitely think about. It might be like on a more advanced plan though, because like we
Right.
have to store all of that data.
Right. Yeah, I
That's
think that would be an awesome, um, an awesome feature to have at some point.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. We have in the business reports, we have a few things, but I'm not totally sure like if that's exactly what you're looking for. But like we also calculate like the number of times you reprice, the number of times those price changes are going up, and the number of times they go down. So I'm not sure if that's interesting to you, but for this report, it's across the whole account, but this data is also available per SKU. So maybe you want to see how many times like a SKU reprices each day, how many times it goes up, it goes down.
Yeah, I mean, that would be definitely helpful as well. And so that's kept like forever since the beginning of your account?
This
I see it's by month, day, week, or month. So obviously it's at least a month.
it should be quite a while. These are all new, so because like we switched the reports, so it should go back like starting in April when we launched. Moving forward, yeah,
Okay.
it
So
should
at
keep the
least,
data for a while.
right. So at least since the beginning of when you started reporting it.
Yes. Yeah. Reports are long-term data. Yeah, actually, not honestly, not that many users use the business reports. I think most people spend their time on the managed listings page and calculating ROI and managing listings, and also they spend some time maybe tweaking the rules. But I really do think very few people really dig into the business reports. So I would be very interested in having a longer conversation with you guys and talking about how what we can do to make the business reports better. If you guys could dig into it a little bit and let me know, what's good and maybe what's like not that useful and what could be better.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, those are, those are some good features. I think that would, you know, help part of the problem at least. Yeah, but I mean, once you get BQool really going and, set up, and I mean, we've been using it for a long time, I think a couple years now, maybe at least a year. I'm not sure when we completely switched over. We were using some other repricers to try them out, but, we like to suggest products that, our clients and followers can use. And, if you're using a $300, starting point or $200, $500 product, then, I really can't, suggest that to somebody who's selling $1,000 a month on Amazon. So we have two accounts, so we switched one to BQool, at some point, and then liked it so much we switched both of our accounts over. So, it's really a good, a good place to start at, where, a lot of the other options are just, out of the range. And I really think everybody needs a repricer. It's just really a waste of time for, to try and reprice stuff manually when your competition's going to have the repricer, it's going to immediately change everything you did.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, Shawn's been like one of the earliest supporters of BQool, and it's been really awesome. Do you guys need me to? Do you need to see any more of the software, like the rules, or we're okay? You think? Maybe we can get back to it later.
Yeah, I don't see any other questions on that. What about the apps tab? What exactly? Can you explain exactly what that's for? You know, if nobody's ever used BQool before, and
Oh, okay.
you know what all can be done as far as that.
Okay. It actually it leads to it's an easier way to sorry, I turned off screen share, didn't I? So you guys can't see it anymore.
Right.
Okay, let's get back to that. Okay, so can you guys see it now?
Yep.
Okay, so the apps tab just leads to our other products, because some of our users they also use our other products. So today we're talking about repricing, but we also have feedback management, and it sends emails to buyers, so requesting for feedback and reviews. And review management is for private label sellers who want to manage the reviews that they get. So it's kind of hard to know when new reviews come in, because like Amazon doesn't give you a notification or anything, but Review Central downloads those reviews into a dashboard, kind of like what you see for repricing. So this tab is for if you're using some of our other services. So that's actually a good segue for me to go into actually the promotions that we have really quick.
Okay.
Back. Yeah. 1 second. Okay. Okay. Can you guys see that now? Can you guys see the presentation?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I have some promotions for you guys who are watching the webinar, and for you guys in Shawn Mayo's group. You get 50% off your first month, and this coupon is long term. We do have like limited time promotions, but for you guys, it's just 50% off first month, like all the time. So another deal is our Accelerated Plus. The 5-minute repricing, it's normally available for $100 on the $100 plan, but if you subscribe to the $75 plan annually, which comes out to $67.50 per month, we'll throw in the 5-minute repricing. And also special just for Shawn Mayo's group, we're going to throw in a 2-week trial extension. Normally the free trial is 2 weeks. But if you email us, just say like you're in Shawn Mayo's group, please extend trial 2 weeks or something like that. And also include your account email so that we can actually find your account. We'll extend your trial. So you can combine that first offer, so you can get a 2-week trial extension and also 50% off.
Okay, so before we go too far ahead here, the 50% off is on any of your plans. It doesn't matter if it's I think we started at $25 and on up, right? So
all plans, yeah.
All plans that you sign up for, you're gonna get 50% off. So you're getting 50% off of your first month. You're getting a free trial, which is 2 weeks. You're getting a 2-week extension on that. So basically, for the price of 1 month, you're going to get 3 months worth of service, which is, you know, obviously a killer deal. And I believe there were some questions on switching from different repricers. And, you know, this is exactly what we did when we used other ones, and we've used most of the ones on the market. You know, we kind of settled on BQool because you know, of the options, and as well as, you know, a great price point for new users. And obviously we want to be able to answer questions for, you know, other people who need it. So You know, if you want to try out BQool, obviously use the promotion. What I would suggest is, you know, if you're not sure if, you know, it's for you, and what we did was, all we did was suspend our listing. So, you know, if you're afraid, you've been on the fence about switching to BQool or, you know, switching away from whatever you're using now, you can just suspend your options, keep your account, you know, for a couple weeks or for, you know, the first month or whatever it is. It won't cost you anything. You'll still be paying for your old one, but it won't cost you anything to try out BQool. So you can try out BQool. You can export your listings and information from almost any repricer out there. Then you can do a bulk upload, you know, into the template for BQool to upload all your pricing, your minimums, your maximums, all that information. You know, I mean, it's going to take a little bit of time and work, but you know, it's nothing like starting from scratch. So you know, this is a way you can try it out with, you know, literally no cost. You know, you won't be double paying. You won't be doing any of that. And I believe you don't, the way it used to work is you don't need to enter that code right now. Isn't that correct? You, unless that's changed, you enter it when you actually end the trial.
That's right. When you actually pay, yeah, you don't. And because there's no well, there is an expiration date. It's like, but it's like to the end of the year. So I mean, this code is pretty much good. You know, anytime. And we'll let you guys know if we update the code.
Yeah, we've had some codes in the past, you know, the last month or 2 months, and so they've extended it, you know, through the whole year. Of course, that, you know, just gives you an opportunity to procrastinate a little bit, but we'll make sure that, you know, everybody can get this. You don't have to write this stuff down right now. We're going to email everybody who's watching the webinar. If you're watching the replay, you'll get the information in the email that you found out about the webinar on. And, you know, so you get your first whole month for free. You can get 50% off the next month. You know, a great deal to, you know, see if you're ready to move on from whatever you're using now. There's a great opportunity to try this out for free.
Right on. Right on. Okay, so actually that's pretty much it. I've already talked about our other products, so no need to necessarily go into it anymore. And so yeah, I think we just open things up for Q&A. You guys have any more questions?
I believe Sarah had a question. I think we may have just answered it. The easiest way to transition from one repricing software to BQool. You know, Michael and his crew may say, you know, just cancel them and sign up, you know, but, you know, I think it's always best to try something out. And, you know, I recommend this for any software you're using. You know, if you want to try, you know, if you're using OAX Ray and you want to try tactical arbitrage, you know, do the trials. You know, if you don't know if you want Scan Power or, you know, Inventory Lab, you know, almost everything is a free trial now. So, you know, sign up for them both and see what you like better. And, you know, you can use you already have, you know, all your pricing information. Hopefully you're using some kind of repricer. If not, you know, go sign up right now, because everyone should have a repricer. You know, everyone should have, you know, some kind of listing software. It just, you know, takes too much time and too much effort to not be using these tools. And, you know, the prices that they cost, you know, if you're a newer seller, you only need to be on the $25 plan. You know, you don't, everybody doesn't need to reprice every 5 minutes, obviously. And if you're on the starter plan, Michael, how often does that reprice now?
15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes. I think it was way higher, like 6 hours or something when we started.
Yeah, 6. It used to be like hourly.
Hourly, okay. You know, so if you're using some of the competition, you know, some of them reprice once every 24 hours. Some reprice every 12 hours. So if you're on their starter plan, you know, you're getting like one repricing every few hours or once a day or, you know, whatever it is. Here, the cheapest plan, you know, $25 a month, you're getting a month free, you're getting 50% off. So you're paying $12.50, you know, for the first couple months. You know, so you're going to pay $25. You know, you're paying like $8 a month for the first 3 months on average. So, I mean, we're talking about very little money to start out. If you're starting out, you know, for $8 a month, you know, I remember, you know, even though I was using 2 other repricers, you know, just so we could do testing on things. You know, I was using App Eagle, which when I turned on App Eagle with 1,000 SKUs, I mean, it was, you know, it was amazing. But even though I was using App Eagle, when I switched over to BQool, you know, I still had a huge day. I remember I sold thousands of dollars more than I did just switching to a different repricer. And I think we just exported the rules and, you know, imported them with a little bit of tweaking. But, you know, different software is looking at, you know, things different ways and doing repricing. You know, I still sold thousands of more that day. It was just a normal day, but because there was so much movement, and almost everybody I talked to, when they install the repricer, the first day or two, you know, are going to be huge days for you, because Amazon, I don't know if you covered this, but Amazon really likes, you know, stuff going on your listings. So, you know, if your products are being repriced, you know, if you're updating descriptions or, you know, changing titles or any kind of anything goes on, it's going to show that to the customers a lot more. So especially when you first start repricing, you're going to see a huge movement. You know, you should probably be paying for, you know, a year's worth of your repricer in the first couple days of installing it, no matter what, you know, what level you're at. Because Amazon just loves people, you know, they love people who love them. So, you know, if you're working on your listings, you're updating pricing, that means you care. You know, they look at it like you care about your listing, so they're going to care about it, and they're going to show it to the customer more. You know, that's just that's just how you know, it works. So, you know, the more care you take of your listings, the more interest you show in them. In my experience, I've seen a lot more action going on. You know, and they're going to show you, you know, if there's 10 listings for a search, or 100 or 500, they're going to show, you know, the ones where people are actually interacting with their listings. You know, because the people who, you know, have dead listings, they really don't care about, obviously, because you don't care about it. Is pricing category based on active listings or the total listings?
The way that we charge is now by repricing listings.
Okay, so it's only on what's active, not what you may just have imported. I know some repricers had done that in the past. I'm not really sure how they do it now, but, you know, if you imported all your listings, they would be charging you based on that. I know some of the ones we used had definitely bumped up our pricing just because we had a certain number imported. So obviously the way it should work is, you know, only based on what, you know, you're interested in repricing. If you're not repricing it, why should you have to pay for it? And that's really the way you guys are doing it. So, right, so inactive listings. Now, does it know, I'm not sure how it works with you guys, but does it know when your products aren't active on Amazon, or is it just based on, you know, what you have marked as, you know, not to reprice?
It's based on what you mark to reprice. So yeah.
So if you sell, if we sell out of something, for example, are we still paying for repricing on that product?
Yes, but you can pause the repricing on that.
Okay, so but we would have to manually do that.
Yes. If it's short term and it's going to be like becoming active again very shortly, then, you know, then you probably would just leave it. But if it's like going to be inactive long term, then maybe you just go ahead and pause that.
So if we archive something on the Amazon side, do you know about that, or do we also have to remove it out of BQool? You know, if we were to delete and archive a product.
If you delete it, it just it disappears from the report, and so it'll disappear from BQool automatically.
Okay, great.
Oh, there's a question. There's a question here from Dave. He's a current user.
Okay.
So Dave would like a trial of 5-minute repricing. Okay. I didn't mention that here because I wasn't sure if there would be any current customers interested in the $100 plan, but we can get you a coupon for your first month. We don't have like a free trial of it, but I can definitely get you a coupon so that you can try it with a discount. So maybe Dave, maybe we can get in contact.
Of course, Dave. How would they contact you? Is email the best way? Or
It's a little, it's a while ago. I'm not sure if, okay. Email or Facebook. Okay. Okay, we should have your email. We'll look you up.
okay, so let's talk about the pricing structure. It's basically based on the number of listings you have active. So that's what's going to get you to that next level. If you want 5-minute repricing, you basically have to buy the top plan, correct?
Yes.
The $100 plan is basically how you get to the 5-minute repricing. Everything else is going to be repricing at every 15 minutes. I don't really think you need anything more than that. You know, the live repricing, the instant repricing. I really don't, you know, I'm not really a fan of that, and I'm not sure how much the 5-minute to 15-minute repricing is going to change things. You know, you got to think about if, you know, you're duking it out with somebody, you know, if it's going to update every minute or whatever it is, and the other guy's updating every minute or instantly, then you're going to be dropping your price, whatever, you know, a penny or a quarter or 5 cents or whatever it is each one of you are doing, you know, every 5 minutes. So, you know, you're going to be like racing to the bottom 3 times as fast if you're doing it every 5 minutes as every 15 minutes. Or, you know, if it's doing instantly or every minute, you multiply your 15 times, you know, times however much each one of you is repricing by. That is if you're both on a fast repricer, you know, and it's going to go there even faster. So, you know, if you have multiple people that are using repricers, that's always something you need to be vigilant about. So really, you know, we're talking about the $25 plan. It's not a whole lot of money here, you know, for 1,000 listings. If you have 1,000 active SKUs, I don't think most people do, unless you're, you know, a bookseller or, you know, liquidator or doing something ridiculous. You know, that's where most people are going to be at. So, I mean, you're getting a ton of value here. You know, it's not like you have extra features at, you know, $100. Really, you know, there's only a couple features at the $100 plan than there is at the, you know, at the $25 plan. And before I keep saying this, there is a trial at the $25 plan, or is that correct or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
The trial. I actually think the free trial is the $50 plan. I think you actually get 5,000 listings.
Right. So you're going to get up to 5,000 listings. Of course, everything gets to 15-minute repricing or better. The profit calculator we talked about. You know, your customizable rules, of course, and, you know, the whole dashboard and reporting and all that. Really, at the $100 plan, you're getting, you know, 5-minute repricing, you know, and the ability to download your reports. You know, that's really the only difference. So, you know, even at the lower plans, don't think you have to get a $100 plan to get all the features. You know, all the features are, you know, they're giving everybody all the features. So, you know, it's very economical for everybody to try out, and multiple platforms too. You know, don't forget that if you're selling in other platforms, a lot of people are in Canadian, Mexican marketplaces, all that, as well as you know, everywhere else. UK is big, Japan, what else? Germany, France, Italy, US, Canada, and Mexico, the whole North American. And, you know, so they have the repricing available for most of the biggest platforms. Okay, so was there any other questions? Is it easy to see items that are out of stock in BQool? I'm not sure about that.
Pretty easy. We have the quantity column, which tells you how much quantity you have, and if it's in stock, it'll say active. If it's out of stock, it'll say inactive. Chris, do you have? You think that's about right? If there's anything else?
Yeah, generally speaking, it would be, yeah, the active inactive is pretty much instant, and the in-stock quantity might be just a little bit delayed based on the report. You know, if it sells just a bit ago, you know, it might not be till it ships or something, I think. So generally speaking, yeah, that's the easiest way to see if it's inactive or active. That should tell you what's going on.
Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Michael and Chris, for coming on, talking to us again. And we'll be sending out all this information to you guys. If you didn't write, you know, your codes down or any of that, don't worry about it. We usually get the replays out within 24 hours so that we can get them uploaded and downloaded and processed. We'll send all that information to you